Rolanda, you really gonna let Anthony come in there and blatantly disrespect um, Natasha? Seriously? You gonna sit right there and let that man sit there and blatantly disrespect Natasha for no reason? That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why in the world it is that you gonna let him come in there and blatantly disrespect her, and she has done nothing to Anthony at all to even deserve the fact of the way that man came at her, and you just sat there and you didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. You sat right there and let that man blatantly disrespect her, blatantly sit there and talk to her any kind of way. I can't even I can't even fathom that. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let somebody sit up there and blatantly disrespect somebody that I asked and that I was working out with. That man was on vacation. You was there with Natasha, and now that he's back, now you acting brand new. That is crazy to me. Ain't no way in the world, Rolanda. And this is why the fact that you go through what you go through and why you going through what you going through with your daughter, because you sitting up here and you're allowing Anthony to come into your world. You let the man stand up at your wedding. Now, Malachi, I wouldn't have got mad at Rolanda. I would have gotten mad at Anthony. I still would have married her, and that would have been it on that. So you gave Anthony what he wanted. The fact that you sat up there and you did not, in any capacity, sit there and you let that man pretty much psych you out is crazy, because ain't no way in the world that I would have let him psych me out like that, but that's what you did. So you pretty much gave him what he wanted when it came to this situation. So you sat there and left Rolanda alone because you let Anthony psych you out. You let Anthony, because Anthony stood up at your wedding. You basically did not marry her when you should have married her anyway and had him escorted out. Looked at Rolanda, asked Rolanda what she wanted to do. If Rolanda said she wanted to go through with the wedding, then that would have been her decision. But you never gave her that. You just did. You just ended up canceling the wedding when all you had to do was kick Anthony out. That's all you had to do. So that way you and Rolanda could have got married and none of this would have happened in the first place. But that is not what happened. You let Anthony stand up at your wedding. You let him basically get you to cancel the wedding, to call off the wedding. So that falls on you. So that really much falls on Malachi, because Malachi could have went ahead on and still married Rolanda anyway, despite it. So at the end of the day, that this falls on Malachi. It just does. But in the end, like I said, I hate this for Rolanda. I do. But at the same time, Rolanda ain't innocent either. That's why I say when it comes to these characters, even though, yes, they seem like they're good people, and I'm not saying that they're not, but they have this holier than thou, like they stuff don't stink either. Rolanda looks down on Amber like her stuff don't, like she's better, when in all actuality, Rolanda is not better than Amber. She's not. Because look at what she's doing now. She ain't no better than Amber. So in the end, like I said, that's why when I look at certain people, I don't care what they look like. I don't care how much money they got. It does not mean that person is better than me because of it, because they're not. So why would I keep thinking that someone else is better than me when just because, whatever reason? So at the end of the day, I don't think somebody else is better than me. I just don't. At the end of the day, like I said, you're going to have people that you don't think are better than you when in all actuality, they're not better than you. In what way, shape, form, or fashion are they better than you? They're not. They're not better than you in any capacity. So I don't understand why people think somebody else is better. No, that person's not better than you because they make more money than you. They're not better than you because they look better than you. At the end of the day, Amber, none of these people are better than me or anybody else. It's just people put them on a pedestal because of the fact they are attractive and because they have money. But that don't mean they're better people, because 99.999% of them are not better. So like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and think that because, somebody's better or because a lot of people are attracted to them or whatever the case may be, that I think they're better. Because at the end of the day, if you're truly a godly person, you're going to do what's right. And it's not going to be that difficult for you to do it. You're going to do what's right, and that's just it on that. So you're not going to be sitting up here taking somebody, man. You ain't going to be disrespecting nobody. You're going to be like, okay, well, let me do the right thing. Let me do what's right. I'm not going to sit up here and I'm not going to, do wrong. So why would I do that? In the end, it's about doing the right thing. In the end, it's about, okay, it's not about everybody else. So yeah, this person may look better than me, and yes, this person may have this, and this person may have that, but I have something they don't, and that is character, talent, things of that nature. So in the end, Rolanda is not better than Amber in any capacity. If anything, she's worse. Like I said, he who cast the first stone is worse than the person that actually did the wrong. So like I said, negative is negative. I don't care if it's something simple as somebody disrespecting somebody's character. I don't care if it's something as simple as somebody not giving somebody a chance to grow and you being judgmental. Those type of things. Those things matter. So in the end, I'm not going to sit up here and say that one person is better than the other. You're never going to hear me say that, because that would be a lie. But what I will say is we all make mistakes. We all are not perfect. And none of us don't have the right to sit there and chastise somebody when you're no better. So in the end, like I said, I'm tired of people making it seem like Rolanda is better than Amber. She's not. Not in incapacity is she better than Rolanda, because she's not. In the end, Amber is somebody that, yes, she has made mistakes. And right now, Amber is the one that's dealing with the consequences and repercussions and karma. But yet nobody else is in the skits. That's the sad part. Nobody else is dealing with consequences and repercussions and karma except Amber. Now that's the part I don't like. I feel like that every person that does something negative, male or female, needs to deal with consequences and repercussions. But I don't see these men dealing with that. I see the women dealing with it, but not the men. I don't see Chase really dealing with consequences and repercussions because he took Candace on that trip and didn't tell Candace about it. Candace took it better than what most people would, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit up there and still not be mad because you decided to take me on a trip knowing what that girl did, and you going to sit up here and pick your homeboy against me. That's not the way a lot of women would handle that. A lot of women would be extremely pissed about it, and they would be very, very, very upset about it. So, like I said, it's all about making the women pay for everything, making the women be the ones to suffer. But these men are not out here suffering. If you even look at the situation with Lawrence ain't gonna suffer. Lawrence is the reason that girl's account, and instead of him going to Erica and telling her the truth and them working together to take down Nina, he ain't saying nothing. Do you think not saying nothing is going to make this better? That girl is trying to ruin that girl's life. And instead of you telling her the truth so they can get the police involved, when that guy told you that she was a scammer, you should have then talked to Erica and y'all could have worked together to get rid of her. And all Lawrence had to do was, before it started this summer, tell them that there's an emergency and we're going to have to revamp some things. But you had plenty of time to do that because there were signs this girl is what she is. And now she's messing with Erica's business. See, But she don't know who Erica got behind her either.